And we're live.
Yo,
What's up? Are we
How
live?
is everybody doing? Yeah, we are. Zero viewers, so let's give it a minute.
Let's put all the mistakes out there now.
Yeah,
so just checking to see if it goes live. It's not live on YouTube.
Yes.
I'm not
it's
seeing
not
it.
live on YouTube.
Refresh. 7 p.m.
Yeah, I refreshed it. It's not.
Huh. Yeah, it should be live. I can't change it. Whoa.
Oh,
There
we're
we go.
live. We're good. We're good. We're good now.
Takes a minute.
We're good.
Sweet.
Cool. All right, we got 6 people watching. Hello, everybody.
It wouldn't be our attempt of good to go live without a hiccup. First thing.
We do these so infrequently that we have no idea what's going on when it starts.
That's all right.
It's not
We've
trademark.
also given like 3 different types of streaming a shot so far, and still don't know what we're doing.
Yeah, pretty soon though, we're gonna know the best one and the best way to do it. Just soon, someday. Anyway,
I want to be here.
So, everybody, happy Monday. Happy June 17th at 7 p.m. Hopefully, you don't have too much of a work week going, and you guys are going to get ready to go fishing at some point in time. I know I am.
When are you going fishing?
I think I'm going Wednesday.
I think I'm going Wednesday also.
I got some time off from the time I took for Raystown that I got wide open. That I'm
it's this week.
Yeah,
That's right.
It's supposed to be this week, but since we're not doing it, I am going to wet a line.
That was a great segue to our first topic, John.
I know, it was like perfect. Right?
That was almost like we rehearsed
Did
it.
you plan that?
No,
Did
I
you plan
didn't.
that?
Sort of. I thought as soon as all right. Anyways,
Yeah, I'll be fishing on Sunday as well, but again, also not in Raystown. But speaking of Raystown, something we did want to address, as it was a tough decision to make, but we want to just kind of clarify some of the rationale about it. Not that I don't think there's been a whole lot of myths or rumors as to why we made the decision, but obviously it's something we never want to have to do. It's something that I guess luckily is the first time we had to do it, but we were really a lot of work and a lot of time and effort goes into running these events, and it's really difficult for us to it means a lot to us to make sure that everyone who attends our events is getting an experience that's worth the money, that's worth the time away from their family, the pay time off of work and so on, and traveling there. And we just didn't see the interest enough to feel confident that making the trip would have been worth it. And, the last thing we want to do is to hold an event, for 15 people or so, and then have the payouts not be good, barely covering entry fees, let alone the travel, being one of the longer drives. So we made the call for the sake of, for the sake of the experience, but also was a business decision as well. It costs us money to put on these events. And, not that EKF is like struggling at the moment, but, if we don't make decisions like that, we could find ourselves in a place. I honestly, it reminds me a lot of, some of the KBF struggles in the early COVID days when they found themselves with all these events that they needed to reschedule and so on, and tough calls that had to be made. And it's like, those are things and situations that we learn from and reflect on. And so try not to find ourselves in that same position by making those tough decisions now. And it would, anyways, I'll stop word vomiting there. There's not a whole lot else to it, but still a bummer.
Yeah, total bummer. I know a few people are looking forward to it.
Yeah. I think when we first announced it, there wasn't a whole lot of excitement for it, but I feel like there was a little bit of it starting to build as people started going to YouTube and seeing the type of fishery that it was. But we did recognize also that it was, Pennsylvania would be like a bit of a, the first time I went to Pennsylvania is pretty famous for those who went to Wallenpaupack, but but also like we did recognize it as a bit of an extended drive, and when we were putting our schedule together, we were like, we've been toying around with the idea of expanding the reach of the Northeast a little bit here and there. So this was also like a little bit of a gauge for us, and something that we'll definitely walk away with some learning experiences from. But just something that's unfortunate. But we're looking forward to the next one. Winnie is always a fun event, so we can talk more about that in a little bit. But
thanks to everybody for taking it how you did. We haven't received any negativity, and for the most part, people understand why we went this route. So once again, thank you for being as good as you are.
Yeah. I will point out though that Pennsylvania is in the Northeast, so I mean, to be fair, we probably should try to go back. I know everybody wants everything at the Susquehanna, but another issue we had is that when we set the schedule, mid-Atlantic kayak bass fishing is a big group down that way. They didn't have anything scheduled, so we were kind of hoping that some of those guys, maybe we could get them to kind of take a chance on fishing our event, because we've never been that close to them. But they had they had to do a makeup event, so they were doing like a dual event with Slay Nation on the Juniata River, and hard to compete with that, I guess. So that was another kind of a bummer about that whole situation. But I would like to go back there. We talked about going to the Potomac as well. We were talking about doing that this year.
That was a debate. Yeah, that was a debate we had for a while.
So if you're listening and you're from the southern region of the Northeast, drop a comment. Let us know where you guys want to go. What would be a good spot? Yes, we know the Susky, Justin. It would be awesome. We potentially might do it in the future. But I would like to hear the options besides the Susky. Where would the southern Northeast anglers like us to go, in their neck of the woods?
Yeah. One thing though I forgot to mention that I should for the sake of the rest of the season. So because we canceled that event, we are adjusting our Angler of the Year and championship qualifying to be best 3 events. 3? Yes, best 3 out of 4. Yeah. Yep. So that way everyone still has an opportunity and a fair shot at that if they were banking on Raystown to be their drop and so on, or another event. So we did make that adjustment. It's only fair. So it should all update. It really won't. Luckily, it won't be that much of an issue, only being our second event of the season. So, but yeah, we had a couple questions about that. I think we did say it in Fishing Chaos, but in case folks missed it. Yeah, we'll be making that change as well. So again, appreciate that. And like John said, we appreciate everybody's response to it and not blowing us up. We had a couple of people reach out. Like, it's really tough for us when we get a couple weeks before the event, or I think we only had one person sign up, register. That was Daryl at that point. We had a couple of people reach out to us telling us that they had places booked. It's one of the things that's a challenge for us in running these events is gauging the interest and participation. We have a lot of people that sign up the week of. Totally understand that's how it works for some people. We totally get it. It just makes it more challenging for us to get an idea of how the event's going to go, the participation. But I think also this year, the new piece that makes it more challenging is all of the work, the pre-work and filming and stuff that goes into the broadcast, getting that content together. It's a heavy lift on us for the 3 or 4 days that we're there, getting ready. And if we aren't able to have an event that we can't put on with participation, we can't put on the broadcast the way we like to with the interviews and so on. And so the quality suffers, and we don't want to do that. We want to keep the quality of our events up and the overall experience up and worth the money and time that folks put in. So anyway, that's enough for me rambling.
Next year will be different. We'll just pick the big names, That's what we decided. I mean, we tried some new spots this year because a lot of people said, that we shouldn't keep going back to the same places, the same people win and all that stuff. And we tried it and it didn't work. So
yep,
we'll just pick the Cayuga Lakes and Champlains, and if the same people win every time, so be it, right?
Potentially. I mean, it's still like those places are still good. So we'll they're destination places, and maybe that's what folks want. So we'll see. Yeah. But we do appreciate the feedback. It's just we try little incremental changes each year. Sometimes they work out, sometimes they don't. It's part of the growing process, I suppose. So
EKF, now EKF Live, this streaming podcast that we're doing right now, typically covers EKF stuff, whether it's schedule reveals or rule changes, whatever, just EKF realm stuff. As a group, we decided we're going to take a little bit of a turn on this, and we're going to try to make it an actual podcast. I'm putting that into the ether now. We've discussed it, and so we'd like to cover some stuff and some topics and local events. So I guess we're just gonna roll into the next topic, which was we had a regional memorial tournament that Ken and Adam both fished. So you guys want to talk about this regional memorial tournament that had taken place a couple weeks ago?
Yeah. I've fished it a few times. It's hosted by an outfitter up there in New Hampshire, which I'll just name it, Mountain Road Trading Post. They've hosted this now. I think this was the 16th year, maybe the 19th year.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's next year is going to be the 20th, I believe. They've carried on this tradition through at least two different owners. I fished it 2 or 3 times in the past up on Pawtuckaway Lake, New Hampshire. Big turnout, 68 anglers.
Yeah, almost 70 guys. That's awesome.
Yeah. Not that big of a lake, but, I didn't see, we weren't fishing on top of each other, so it worked out. So it's probably a little bit bigger than I realized. But yeah, no, it was a good event. The lake is fantastic. It's got a lot of big largemouth. From what I saw, some decent smallies. I don't know if the smallies get really big in there. You said Jake Angela said that they're out there,
don't quote me on that. I thought I may have misunderstood. Yeah, but
yeah, I mean, some other people said they're in there too. So I'm sure there's some decent ones, but I think the predominantly the largemouth kind of rule there. But yeah, it was a fun event. I did really well. I thought I had a chance to win it, to be honest with you.
You were close.
Yeah, 3 fish limit, 60.5 inches. I mean, I was feeling pretty damn good.
Yeah. We should also say, so before we get into Ken's success, which is great. It was kind of a throwback event, right? We didn't use an app. We didn't use an app. We didn't have, I guess, sort of the modern amenities, if you will. I don't know, but it was really kind of cool to go back to that in a way. But also, I was constantly feeling like I missed something. So we signed up through Eventbrite, right? Like almost like the same way you get concert tickets, and then had to go physically into the store, get your identifier card, and then the short you would be emailed the code. So it was like a little bit more of a manual process, which I actually kind of liked. Like it was a little, I don't say nostalgic, but it was, I don't know, more involved. Like it just felt more of an experience, which was really cool to have. And I don't know, thought it made for a really cool event. It made for, I had to change up how I manage my limit, where I typically just kind of favorite photos. And I learned from you, Ken, the notes. I have a notes thing going and on my phone to kind of keep track of them. But yeah, sadly, I didn't have a hard time keeping up with the
I want to cut into this. If you had that new Yak Attack leaderboard, you could have just used the call tabs because it comes with 3 on there.
3 of them, yeah.
Must be cool. You guys have one. I can't wait to see it.
I showed it to you Saturday.
No, I'm joking. It's more that I don't have one of my own. But yeah, I mean they are cool. But go ahead, Ken.
Yeah, no. I was saying doing it old school was a little different because we're used to kind of gauging how we're doing based on how other people are doing. At least the people that upload. But what we learned Saturday is because MAKB went up there, the Northern Division went up there this past Saturday for their event. The signal is garbage everywhere.
Yeah.
So it was more stressful because we didn't have a signal. Like it was terrible. Certain areas of the lake, like at the end of the day. So we changed it. We originally had it scheduled 6 to 2, but in New Hampshire you could only do tournament 7 to 3. So I changed it 7 to 3, but I had given originally 2 hours for people to upload because I knew the signal was rough there. But then what happened is, I didn't change when I changed it from 7 to 3. I didn't change the upload deadline to 5 p.m. It was still at 4 p.m. So we had an hour. So now I'm out of the water and I'm trying to change that till 5 p.m. from 4 p.m. and it wouldn't go through. It just wouldn't go through. I would get it all to load. I would make the change and I would hit save and it would just spin. And I'm like, how can I go through multiple pages and then hit save and it doesn't go? It was absolutely frustrating. So so it's almost better to do it the old school way, less stress.
Well, it made me wonder after, because I also fished the MAKB event this past weekend. It made me wonder, like, oh, that's why they're doing. And I don't know if it's why they're doing it or not, but it made me wonder, like, oh, maybe they realize there's just no chance that it would just be as much of a mess as anything about using the app. But
I think they've just done it that way, forever. So
I liked it though. You got to go in, show your fish, and and it was like the classic. Like I remember when I first started doing these tournaments before. Well, I think the apps were around, but we weren't using them. And it's like there was always that like looking at the picture, stating the measurement, and then saying, "Do you agree?" It was like almost like old Major League Fishing stuff, where it's like,
well, they did it really well, all things considered. Because I've done those events in the past, and they're always a bit of a cluster. Because like back in the day, people way back in the day, you'd have like instant cameras, and you'd go and like get them developed, and then you'd come back. It was ridiculous. Yeah, it took forever. But then, when cell phones came out, the original ones, there wasn't a way to favorite your fish and all that stuff. And so you'd have guys just flipping through like a million fish trying to find the right one. It took forever. It was a nightmare. So this was a nightmare, yeah. Yeah, this was run really, really well. And I'm sure some of the people that maybe didn't have this stuff as organized as say I did,
Yeah, but there's good giveaways, like great giveaways. There was a catered barbecue dinner or lunch, evening, I don't know, meal. That was excellent. That was really good. Was actual barbecue, advertised as barbecue.
Yeah.
It was a great experience. Like really, I think really well done. The even like the giveaways were like some of the winners were drawn ahead of time so that because there was like how many giveaways? Like
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, he did that because it was good. He did that because it might have rained.
Yeah, but it was still like it just really well run. Like it was a good time. Like the fishing, my pre-fishing was the best day of fishing I had for that event, but that's okay.
Yeah, it was a good event.
Talk about how you did, Ken.
How was the fishing? I mean, I saw some big numbers caught.
Yeah, there were some. For me, it was a little tough. I had a 21 pretty early, 21-25. Caught it on a speed worm, the Berkeley Speed Boss, and then I had a blow up on it like 5 minutes later, if that, and then that was kind of it. It started to rain pretty heavy after that, and it was a struggle for me. So for me, the rain kind of screwed me up, I think. So I just kind of junk fished, got a couple on the Ned out in the main lake, not on docks, surprisingly, nothing on docks. Even this past Saturday, nothing on docks. Weird. They were all relating to either wood or rock, for me anyway. But yeah, I just kind of junk fished and then ran back into the starting cove at the end of the day and caught a 19.5 or something like that at the last minute. That bumped me up into second. But yeah, 60.5 inches. Like I said, I thought I had the win, so I didn't.
I thought you had it too.
Yeah, somebody had 61 something. They had two.
What was the lunker? It was like 22.
It was like 22. Yeah, 22, and then the other guy had like a 21 something. So,
and Judy caught a 21 3/4 or something massive.
But yeah, lots of 17s and 18s, 19s, bunch of 20s. So yeah, definitely a great fishery.
Yeah, sounds awesome. Hopefully I can fish it next year. Just couldn't slide it in the schedule this year. I'm jealous of you guys.
I talked to him on Saturday. He's got something planned. I won't say what he has planned. He's trying to think of something a little bit bigger for next year. Kind of an interesting format. But yeah, like I said, I won't say anything. But it's definitely happening. So we'll see.
It was a good time. I pre-fished on that Friday, got into some really good fish, and then of course Sunday was cold and rainy. I don't know if you talked about that. Like it was like one of those rainy days that, like, I feel like most rainy days it kind of like lets up, starts, stops, gives you a break. and it did not let up. Like
No.
I think until we got off the water, it was it
Oh,
cleared
yeah,
up in time for the awards.
Literally, we're all sitting up there because you're in a kind of a narrow. You got to follow a narrow channel out to the main lake. And we're all sitting there, and not raining at all. And then, I'm talking 6 o'clock hit, and it started to rain at exactly 6 o'clock. And then, of course, we get off the water, the sun comes up.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
It was like on a timer.
Very few people were prepared. Luckily for me, I wore just regular like frog togs, that kind of thing, like a huck, simple, summertime rain gear. And I had to go back in and change. I was soaked to the bone. I had to change. Luckily, I had pants on because I stayed at your house, so I had pants with me. So I was able to go and change into pants. I had my bibs, so I put the bibs on. But I was still cold. My hoodie was brutal. Yeah. And of course, it wasn't supposed to rain that much. You know, it was like 35% chance of rain, and then it literally rained for 8 hours straight.
I was stupid. Didn't bring my rain gear. Made a mile run to my spot. Threw 2 cast out, got cold, made the mile run back to get basically soaking wet to put rain gear on over soaking wet clothes. Like I had those hot hands in my pockets, like trying to like warm myself up, like hoping that the rain gear, once it got the heat, would be good. It didn't take. It was like the one time those hot hands, like I didn't even know they were in my pockets. It was just crazy, but it was still a fun day. I left that day of fishing, even though it didn't work out as well for me. I had 2 decent fish and then one like just absolute dink that dropped me pretty far down. But I don't know. It was a good time. It's an event that I recommend. I've been trying to fish it for years and I've never been able to make it, so I was glad to get it out there. But yeah, it was good.
Nice. I want to throw an audible here just because I brought it up recently, and we haven't really announced anything about it. The new Yak Attack leaderboard. How do you guys feel about it?
I like it. Adam hasn't seen it. He held it for a little bit.
I don't think I did. When was that?
I had it Saturday.
I didn't hold it.
You didn't touch it? Oh,
no.
You didn't because you just wanted to complain on the podcast. I'm just
No, that was it. My big plan.
I like it. What happened on the Bassmaster post? They approved it, and they made a post about it, and
they said not till next year.
Right. Were people complaining? What were they complaining about?
I don't know. What I saw, there was a lot of complaints about people don't know how structurally strong it will be. I don't know. They're complaining about a measuring device. That's
like I was wondering, were they complaining about I don't know. It just seemed weird. I didn't get to read any of it. I saw one comment where the guy said that like it looks cheap, it'll break if you drop it, and I was like, well, John had his wife standing on it.
Yeah,
somebody ran it over with their car on a video.
Well, I literally
nothing, because if you're laying it flat, John had it at an angle holding it. His wife like walked up it.
My wife is 130 pounds, and she was walking up the measuring board as I was holding it up. I'm confident that this thing's stronger than the carbonate. 100% confident that it's stronger than the carbonate. I'm not. They're both friggin' measuring devices. There's the Yak Attack one. I like the thought that they put into it. Like the call tabs are something that I've been.
The mirror is cool. The mirror gate is cool.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming. The mirror is actually really cool, and I'm happy for judges. It is a little wider. That for me, I don't care.
That was my initial reaction, though. That thing is huge, and that's not a bad thing.
That's the weird thing, is that it feels so much bigger. It's only 2 inches longer.
Yeah,
it's 28 inches.
It's 28 instead of 26.
And it's a little bit wider, but it feels enormous. And I think that's remember when the catchboard came out and you got all these people whining that it was so heavy.
Oh yeah, it's a boat anchor.
Yeah. I forgot about
that. They had when you got your gear stacked with 200 pounds of gear, and they were complaining about was it 3 pounds or was it 5 pounds? The original catchboard.
It was 3 pounds. It couldn't have been 5.
3 or 5 pounds that they were complaining about that being too heavy. So it's just what happens. But yeah, it definitely feels bigger, and so that of course is gonna turn people off, or they're just gonna complain about it, and then eventually everybody will use it. And then you won't hear about it again.
Yeah,
you'll have people who use catchboards, and you'll have people who use this board, and that'll be fine.
Right out of the right out of the gate, they have things that are thinking about usability. Where, in my opinion, Catch is a phenomenal device. Like it's well built, well made, easy to read. But Catch, Yak Attack has the call tabs, right? Then they have for the built-in identifier holders, which would work for me. No, it won't necessarily work for everybody, but it will work for me. And then it comes with built-in float, like it doesn't sink. Carbonate doesn't do that, or the metal one doesn't do that. You can add flotation of some sort of float to it, but it already comes pre-installed, which I think is cool. So gate has extra things that you do not have to buy that you would for a catch board.
It's good to see a progression too. Yeah.
It's got a
more rigid
feature where it right at the bump of the board, these two pieces fold out. So you have, and then they send you some stickers and stuff. So you can put like some identifier cards, stick them, Velcro them onto these two pieces. I'm not the biggest. I don't think I'll use that.
Yes.
Because it extends the board even farther to the left. So it's just, you have to fit more into the photo. But you said, John, they make another.
They do, and it's available.
Yeah,
exactly. And it's just like the catch holder that comes, like you get that. It's just another version of that for the Yak Attack leaderboard.
So I'll use that one, and then in the call tabs, that's another feature that I don't know if I'll use it. You know what I mean? Maybe I'll use it once to one of them to show me what my smallest fish is. At a glance.
Right. It's a cool idea, like to keep
cool
track
idea.
of fish
For
count.
me, I mean, it's just something that I probably won't use, but it's a unique idea.
Yeah, pet peeve. All you really need is 3, realistically.
Or there's 3 at all. Like, why isn't it just 1? What's the 3 for?
I don't know. But it gives you options. But like, a pet peeve of mine is I hate going in my phone if I can't remember. If you're on a dink fest body of water, and you need to cull, and it's 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch, you need to remember what your smallest one is. I think it's really awesome.
No, it's definitely time consuming sometimes when you're trying to organize the pictures on your phone and
your hands are wet.
Or just the days that you catch a ton of fish. I mean, that's I would, like I said, Adam, I use the note feature and I would put them all in there. But if you're on a really good bite, that becomes tedious.
It's just a small little innovation that can save. It's a nice thing to have. And Justin, competition definitely makes for great innovation. Catch has been the only one. Look how many trails across the country are Catch only brands, just because they're the only brand that makes a non fixable board. Besides when the Bengate happened, after post Bengate. Which is
great.
Still a haunting picture in my memory.
It's crazy.
What do you say about it? Are we gonna approve it?
Are we gonna approve it live? How do you feel?
I don't know. I mean, it doesn't matter to me. I mean, I think it's a quality board. Do we want to? I think we should discuss it, right? Yeah. No.
Okay, let's do it. I'll use it on Wednesday.
I'm just saying. I mean, we don't have to, but if you guys want to approve it, go for it. I mean, do we want to approve it for 2024 or 2025?
I think, personally, I'm going to say what I feel. I think it's a really great strength-wise board. Now, I haven't taken any pictures on it, which I guess I could do on Wednesday, and then we could do in the upcoming day and give a final announcement. But as of right now, for strength and durability, I'm 100% on board. But let's see how, I guess, the measurement goes.
Yeah.
From what I've seen, I don't have any concerns.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't really, but might as well put it through the ringer, I guess.
I'm actually curious about like the it says I don't have one, I can't compare it, but I would like to see just like measurement lines wise. I noticed like there's like a staggered gap. Have you noticed that in the lines? Like the measurement lines, there's a break in each line. And I could be seeing this wrong. Again, I don't have one, but it seems like there's a gap in each line and it kind of staggers a little bit. And I don't know if that's like the indicator for like 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch, 1/4 inch type thing. I'm not sure. And I could just be totally seeing it wrong. But
I don't remember off the top of my head. It's in my truck right now.
Yeah,
But I mean, I'm sure
like
they've
fine.
taken the time with the measurements.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's the part, at least in the Yak Attack group, they were mentioning to us is that it took them the longest to make sure it was dialed in, like the measurements, getting that certified. Then I think also the ability to replicate that each time in a precise way, right? I don't know what the process is for that, especially in plastic compared to like the metal etching and the catch boards and such. But yeah, we'll test it out and make it. I mean, it'll make a decision on it relatively quick time. We've been asked by a few folks about it this season, and you know, it's at least initially it's nothing that I have a concern over, but we just want to do a little bit of due diligence to make sure that we're not skewing the competition in any way.
The product is live right now, so we're gonna do our best to get that information out as fast as possible.
Yeah, I anticipate that we'll approve it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree. Also, it has a serial number that's visible. Did you see that?
No,
Which that could on the
I
actual.
think I did. It's right. I think it did. Catch has that, or used to. They used to have one.
Did they?
Yeah.
I mean that could be cool for judges.
Yeah.
That is neat. I mean, you never know. That's the thing, is trying to anticipate ways in which people are going to try to pull something off or something dishonest. Like, it's an impossible thing to do. So it's cool to have little things like that that can just make it a little easier for judges. Give us not say us like I'm a judge, but give our judges the upper hand as much as possible when doing this stuff. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
All right.
You guys see the weather for the unforeseeable future?
Yeah, I'm not into it.
No, yeah, it's hot. Summer's here. Summer is here.
Just put my ACs in before this.
Yeah, we're not doing AC. I have a half installed ducted mini split system in my attic that I have to finish, and I don't want to go in my attic right now. So,
Yikes.
but anyways, weather's hot. Grass is growing in our lakes. Summer patterns. Water's getting hot. I'm stoked. We're out of that pre-spawn funk.
I hope.
Fishes are going deep. They're getting under stuff.
Yeah, I'm surprised they weren't on docks on Saturday.
It didn't feel right, did it? I mean, it was.
No, I don't know if the water's still just cold enough that they don't have to or what. But I was anticipating with the sun, because the MRTP tournament was rainy, cold, windy. Saturday was hot. I mean, hot. And it was a little bit windy, but still, you would think around 10 a.m. I mean, the fish would have started moving shallow, moving undercover, and it didn't happen.
Yeah.
What'd you guys have at water temps?
It's like 72, 73.
72,
some areas are up to 78, like some of the back coves, real shallow coves, 78. But I think 72 was probably average, where there was a little bit of depth. So still a little on the colder side.
There's still fresh beds in some places. Like, you can still see it.
There's
a couple times I thought there were rocks.
Yeah. That's what I should do everywhere. You know what I mean? So if I ever go back there for a tournament during the spawn, I'm like, well, I know where all the beds are.
It was. I like that place. I bet in like 2 weeks I would have a great time. Even better time, just because like this is the time of year. Like I used to not like early spring fishing, and then like once you figure it out, you love it, right? It's like slow things down, jerk baits, like not quite to the extreme as Jake on Great Sagandaga with a variety of jerk baits, but it's fun and it's relatively predictable. But this time of year, like, it's so hard to dial in, even on a place where, I haven't fished Pawtuckaway in years before the past couple of weeks, but even on places like honey holes, like local places we go to where you have your spots, this is the time of year where those spots let you down. And like from one body of water to the next, you don't know what phase the lake is in, what type of body of water it is. How is it man-made? Is it spring-fed? Whatever. All of that impacts like where the fish are or what they're going to be doing. But I feel like this time of year, every event or every day of fishing, the first couple of hours are spent trying to figure out where they are, what the pattern's going to be. In the case of the Memorial event, I pre-fished on Friday. The conditions totally changed by Sunday. The fish were just gone. Like they're a little more like sensitive, I feel like, and And even like there's so many spots I fished this past weekend that should have been gold. And I bet in 2 weeks there'll be lights out every time you go there. There'll be fish on like certain rocks, certain points. And just this time of year during the transition of spring to summer, it's just like they're unpredictable, and it feels like they're more sensitive than other points. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is getting into the time of season that I love to fish. Slop.
Yeah. You want to just fish the last hour of every tournament. I don't know why you fish the other 7 or 6.
I've said it before, but it is really like if I could fish the whole tournament the way I fished the last hour or two, I would do so much better.
You'd also be spent.
Because I'll show you. I caught on this past Saturday, I caught that 19 or 18. It was an 18, bumped me up in the third place. I caught that at 251. And then the previous at the MRTP tournament, I don't even know if I have the photo. I don't think I have the photos anymore.
Oh man, I forgot.
Yeah, sorry, but again, last minute fish.
You did in our staff tournament too.
I did that. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's I just get laser focused. I'm running out of time. I stop messing around throwing the same or throwing a bunch of different baits. You know what I mean? I just pick whatever's working the best or whatever. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but I just become like laser focused. The ADHD is gone for an hour.
Yeah, you turn it off for an hour.
Yeah, turn it off for an hour, and then it's I don't know. I like it though, but it's funny. It's funny and it's stressful, but it's won me a lot of money. So
it's crazy to me because I watched you because we crossed paths on Saturday a couple times, and I watched you fishing the shoreline, and you still pick it apart like every 6 inches to a foot you're casting, and I can't imagine like what that would look like in that last hour, right? Like it's just rapid fire, like even faster.
I don't really do that. At that point say I've caught most of my fish on a chatterbait. I'll stick to that. I went back on Saturday. I went back into the cove. I was going to go hit this big tree, kind of a laydown that comes out. Torrance was on it, and I guess he had caught like 4 fish around that area last minute as well. But yeah, so then I just beeline to another cove that is funny because earlier in the day, I was like, all right, I'm going to go into this cove. And then I was like, you know what? I looked across the channel and there wasn't anybody in another cove. So I was like, all right, I'll hit that first. So I go over there. And then as I was coming in, like this 3 guys in like a Lund pull into the cove that I was originally going to fish. And then as I was passing them, this dude caught it was a giant. And they were going crazy. And they weighed it and it was a 515. I was like killing myself. I was like, God, man, kicking myself over that one. So I went right back into that cove at the end of the day and just grabbed a frog and just skipped it up under a tree. Got that 18. So I don't know. That's just kind of what I do, And one more fish. I had what was my smallest? A 13 or something Saturday. So one more decent fish. I would have been second, at least up in the second place. So
yeah. Did you deal with that red aluminum boat at all? And if anybody else fished this past weekend,
was that them? Was that the guys?
There was a bunch of people on it, like 6 people, and they didn't have a trolling motor on, so they were putting around with a big motor. And I swear they were following me, which that was fine because they weren't. I mean, I wasn't catching crap, so they could follow me all they want. But every time I turned around, they were there, and I was like, "What are they doing?" And at a certain point, I was just like, I was like taking out all my frustration on them. They didn't know it, but like mentally, everything was their fault. But like it was just bizarre. And then at the end of the day, I was going through that cove, like just, probably like an amateur version of your rapid fire cast. And I was like just casting. And then we come around a corner and they're like docked on where I was looking to go. Like on like that little island where I can like hop off. I don't really know what it is. Like it's a campground or just like a spot to chill on the shoreline or whatever. But they were just hanging out there. And then they were at the boat ramp. They came back and it was 8 of them. And they were like, there's young kids. They're all yelling at each other. The classic boat ramp experience. Not as good as the folks with a canoe, but the classic experience. But that's the thing. Like, so that was the other contrast, though, that I think is also hitting this time of year, but has also happened in the past couple of weeks, right? Last Sunday, obviously, miserable weather, no boat traffic. Right. Fast forward to this week, and then we start getting into summer. We start getting into the, water is like, you can swim if you're not crazy. And it's like the boats are back. Jet skis, we had, we're back. We're back with all that stuff. The fish haven't quite gotten there yet, but, the great and honestly, on Pawtuckaway, like some of those jet skis were super close to the shore, and I'm sitting there looking like ahead of me, and I'm seeing like 3 to 4 rocks, like maybe a foot or so under the water, and they're just ripping across these shorelines. And it's not like a lot of that area is super gradual. It doesn't just drop off. Like it's like 6 to 7 feet deep, like out in the middle. Like it just stays the same. And and there's some monster rocks in there. So I don't know, but we're back. And somehow they pull it off, because I think when you're dumb, sometimes it like saves you. I don't know how. Like if you just don't think about rocks, they don't exist. I don't know. But meanwhile, still clacking them with my motor guide pretty good.
So you had mentioned Jake at Sagandaga with his 7 rods with 7 different jerk baits.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about Sagandaga, or are we going to wait?
Oh, I guess we could talk about Sagandaga. What I remember. It feels like a lifetime ago now.
Or potentially, Jake, if you're listening or you're listening to this at some point in time, let's have you on and you could tell us about your several setups of different jerk baits, whether they're 110s or Nanahans or whatever type of jerk baits you were running.
Yeah, we'd like to have Jake on anyways, just especially heading into Winnipesaukee. Jake is a fellow New Hampshire, right? I don't know what do we call New Hampshire? New
Hampshire, right?
Libertarians?
That'd be good. I wouldn't mind that. But why you say that's like an insult? I think we are New Hampshireites. That sucks. Like that doesn't roll off.
Is that really?
I think it is.
Not as good.
I should know. I've lived here my whole life, but I don't know. But anyway, Jake's also from New Hampshire, has a lot of experience on Winnie, so it'd be a good to hear him talk about Sagandaga, and then also it'd be good to hear him talk about Sagandaga, and then also Winnie. Obviously, if you're not familiar with Jake and his success in our events, like it's anytime you get to talk to Jake about fishing, it's a good time and you learn a lot. And Winnie, he's always done well there, so it'd be great to hear from him about some of that stuff. And I'm sure he has some great experiences with boat traffic on Winnie, as everyone does. Sure. So, definitely. And we'll be fishing it at the heart of boater season, we'll call it. Qualified captains, as I like to, it's a little bit of a shout out to the brand and the Instagram page, but
all you have to do is look at Google Maps to see what that's like.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
It's nuts.
It's like the one time like the Google Maps captured it perfectly. Like I feel like they're always a little off with like vegetation or whatever, or like they take pictures of a lake in the fall when it's drawn down, and you see the shorelines, and then they just captured Winnie in its prime, just absolute chaos. Yeah.
No, that should be a good event. I'd like to say I was excited for it, but we're not fishing. So
I know that's how I feel. I'm like, oh wait, we get so excited for Winnie. Oh, wait a second, we're not fishing.
We're gonna fish. We're gonna fish somewhere else, right?
Yeah, there's good stuff in the area.
You want to talk about who won the last? No, I'm just kidding. Who won the last staff tournament?
I think I mentioned it, like you, in the last hour.
God.
I want to thank those though who gave me the charity prediction of winning. I appreciate that. And I almost had it, and I'm sorry I let you down. Sorry.
No. Winnie's going to be a good one. It's going to be prime time. So,
well, one thing to say about that though is, a little plug, and we'll probably repeat this a bunch of times, but heading into the event, if you would like to be a part of our broadcast in any way, whether it's an interview, kayak walkthrough, please let us know where you're going to be. The information stays with us, just a ramp. We can get some on the water footage if you'd like. It doesn't have to be where you're going to fish the day of the event or anything like that. But, we're just trying to give everybody the opportunity. Same with this podcast. If you want to be on here for an interview, reach out to us. We're trying to do this stuff, well, and we're trying to give everyone the opportunity to be on the broadcast. So if you'd like, I'm local to the area, so I can, if you're up there, like maybe before Wednesday, I can see what I can do to get up there. But, we'll be driving around, just filming interviews and what have you. So please let us know if you're going to be around. And if you'd like to be a part of it, we're going to try our best to get out there and feature folks. So appreciate it. And I also appreciate, speaking of broadcast, all of the positive feedback we've gotten on the broadcast and folks who've taken the time to watch it. It's very much appreciated. I personally think it was super successful from the standpoint of, the three of us just putting it together and then actually doing it live. Ken and I talking to each other long enough, being mostly respectful to each other. That's always good. It was a really fun time, but like it's one of those things that you can prepare for it, but you don't really know if you can do it until you've done it, or until you're in the midst of it. And so it was a great experience, but we want to include everybody in it. And honestly, we can go looking at ramps for folks, but if you let us know where you are, it just makes it easier for us. So anyway.
And I guess we're talking about the broadcast. For those you might notice, there's only 3 of us here. This is officially the EKF team. We are down a staff member.
Torrance,
you guys want to touch on that?
Yeah, Torrance, decided to step away from the team. No bad blood or anything like that. It's just, he just wanted to move on, do his own thing. So, yeah, it's just the 3 of us now. We might expand a little bit. There's a lot of work that goes into this stuff, and if you can tell, sometimes we're a little flustered, or not necessarily flustered, but you can tell sometimes there's a lot of work that goes into this for 3 people. So we may expand, especially on the social media front. We definitely need some help there. So if anybody knows social media and would like to help out, you can reach out to us and we could see how things go. But yeah, for right now, it's just us 3, and obviously Torrance is a friend of ours, and
still a friend.
Still a friend. We
yeah.
Totally get where he's coming from. There's a lot of work that goes in EKF, especially where he hasn't gotten to the point where he doesn't not want to fish. So he's going to continue to fish without the burden of extra work on his hands. So we totally understand Torrance.
Yeah, I want to thank Torrance. The couple seasons that we've worked with him, like he's responsible for a lot of like our production quality really stepping up, and honestly just our overall like ambitions and vision for EKF. He had a lot of excitement. We also recognize that working with us to run EKF is like a really like our pitch would be really bad. Like it takes a lot of work and a lot of time and effort to run EKF. And we can offer you like nothing in return other than hanging out with us, and it's like, don't blame people that may not want to do that, or like it's just if we recognize that it's a tough bargain. But sincerely, thank you, Torrance. Like it's been not that like we're never going to talk to you again, but it was great working with you. You did a lot of great work and really helped elevate our overall production and social media game. So much appreciated. Thank you. That's the nicest thing I've said to you. So probably should have said it.
You've ever said about yes. Oh, he gave you a heart emoji.
I'm glad he's watching. All right. I feel like I just killed the mood with my
Angus. What's that?
I feel like I killed the mood with my sappiness, but I don't know.
Oh no, you're good.
Appreciate it. What am I gonna do? Want to just talk about Winnie real quick again?
Yeah, let's roll into Winnie. We need everybody to sign up. No, we talked about it sort of.
Oh, yeah,
everybody go sign up for Winnie and or tell us that you're going so we know how many people. We get an estimated head count. Working on that. Hold on, guys. This is a running joke.
The 25K. Yeah.
Those who don't know, Torrance promised us $25,000 that he jumped onto the EKF staff. We're still waiting on it.
Check is in the mail. But on July 20th, we have our next event on Winnipesaukee. If you haven't been to Winnipesaukee already, I don't know. It's honestly, it's a place that kind of that most people hear it and they know it's great fishery. It's definitely the most well-known lake and fishery in New Hampshire. It's the only lake, really the only lake in New Hampshire big enough to have an event like this when it comes to launch variety, size. Access is huge, but
yeah, there are others. I mean, we could have it on like Swam, but there's no access.
Yeah, access is tough. Yeah, we have the bodies of water in New Hampshire, but yeah. But it's going to be a great event. Hoping to get folks signed up. I know we sound like broken records, but it really does help us. The sooner you can, if you're going to participate or register, the sooner you can, the better. That helps us make sure that we have an awards location that's big enough that can accommodate everybody. It helps us prepare, like if we're going to do food or whatever. It helps us prepare for the broadcast. And we know that not everybody can do it. That's fine. But if you are able, that's great. And we very much appreciate it. But we hope to see you all there. It's a great time. It's a great location. Really, it's like you have a little bit of everything. You could be secluded, like in the middle of nowhere. You can also be in like a little touristy area with good food and places to eat and drink. So yeah, definitely check that out. One that's a little bit off the Airbnbs.
It's a great place for families too. If you want to bring your family, especially over in the Meredith area, it's a big tourist area. They got all kinds of stuff for the kids, arcades, there's a beach, there's shops and all that stuff. There's a train you can take around the lake. There's a big
bike week.
I think bike week's now or was.
I think it's done. It's done.
Yeah, so that's good.
It's nice. I can leave my house again.
Yeah, so they have a big. What's the big ship?
The Mount Washington.
Yeah, that you can take around the lake. So there's tons of stuff to do if you wanted to bring your family and kids and all that stuff. It's the kind of one of the perfect places for it. But again, lots of tourism goes on there, so prepare for traffic.
Yes. But the awards location, we have it already. It's the same place it always was. Leavitt Park.
Leavitt Park. Yeah, the community.
It's a place we always have it. It's a great location. It's kind of centralized around the lake, so should be a good time. Looking forward to it.
I hope you guys are excited as we are. And I want to live vicariously through you who are fishing it.
Yeah. We've never
I got some ideas. I got some ideas for our event, our staff event.
Yeah.
What are you saying? We never broke 90 in previous years?
And we've only fished it at 20 in 2021 and 2022. And there was about 88. Oh, never mind.
We must have.
Oh, no. That's Champlain. Sorry, I clicked the wrong one. Nope, 89.50. Mike Morcone last year. Or 2022 last time. And Nick Audi. They tied.
What time of year was that? I feel like we've had it in August.
Was that earlier?
That was August. Yeah. Actually, I think we've had it in August both times, right?
Yeah. Yep. I will say though, like this is a place where you can break 90. I don't think there's any doubt about
100%, yeah.
Like there are some tanks. There's like there's mythical 10-pounders in Winnipesaukee. I think they've been caught during ice fishing, so we'll see. But I'm just saying, there's big fish.
I don't know about that, but there's definitely big fish. Yeah, I mean, 89.5. I mean, I'm sure Mike probably lost a couple of fish that probably would have put him over that. The same with Nick,
You can win with smallies and largies on that lake. I think that's the cool part is, it's where strategy comes in. I think that's who's got the spot and honestly who's got a little bit of luck on their side the day of.
Yeah, if you can get a big largemouth, that'll do a lot of good for you. When it was one, actually, I'm just looking at the fish right now. Back in 2022, it was one with 4 largemouth, 1 smallie.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Who won that one? Jake?
Josh Smith.
Oh,
that's right.
And then he had that 22.5 at the last minute.
Yep.
Actually.
Oh, that's right.
Not true. That was he. Looks like he submitted that at 8 a.m. So no, not last minute. I guess I thought it was the last minute.
I think it was just a fluke. Like he didn't think he was going to catch anything there.
Yeah, I know he caught it on a Ned. That's what he said. But I don't know. He doesn't fish anymore. So
who? Never mind. Doesn't matter.
What?
Nothing. I was just wondering the top 3.
top three for that one, or let's see, 2022 top three was Mike Morcone, Nick Audi, Jake Angelis.
Okay.
Let's see what Big T Davis is up to out there, because I know he likes Winnipesaukee. Let's see how he can
That's
do.
his backyard. He's there like every other week.
I'd like to see that happen.
John Ferriera, third place, 2021. Did you remember that?
Barely. I feel like it was so long ago.
2021.
Jake, yeah, that was our first year. Remember that? We were just babies.
I mean, I feel like I remember.
Adam Rourke, ninth place.
Let's say I did all right.
Did I fish? Where am I?
15.
I don't know.
Oh, you hate to see it.
All right. Well, I think on that note, boys,
we done?
We done?
I don't know. Unless you guys got something to talk about.
Want to talk about forward-facing sonar?
No. Yeah, how it's a sham. I gotta stop cursing.
Sham?
Yeah, the whole topic is a sham. Like, I'm sick of it. Let's not talk about it ever again.
Listen to Seth Feider's interview on Dave Mercer's podcast.
What does he say about it? Does he talk about it?
He actually shares my view, where it's like the one thing that doesn't get talked about enough is like you have to learn how to use it. It's not that easy. That's basically the and then he talks about the battle between your instincts and technology, which is what I'm going through in the early stages of this season. So as somebody who's a late adopter.
Yeah, that's what I somebody, I don't want to say who, but for MAKB, the knockout series recently, one of the guys who fished it said that who they fished against, that's what they did. They focused solely on offshore stuff, and the fish were shallow. They were just on the forward facing the whole day, and they didn't do very well. So
it happens.
Yeah, you got to know what to do. I'm not going to lie. I love forward facing sonar. But what I love more is when I don't have to use it. Honestly, like yesterday, I went fishing with my son, and I just threw around a frog and a buzzbait all day. And I threw a buzzbait over a laydown, and like a 20-inch fish crushed it right in front of me and my kid. And it was like I didn't have to visually see it. I was just hucking and winding, talking to my son, and then boom. Like it's such a good feeling. And then just standing around flipping strips, I don't know. That's
the best.
How did he react?
Oh, we were both yelling. He was yelling louder than I was. Yeah, it was amazing.
Did you film it?
What? No, I didn't. I didn't. It's okay. I had him take a picture of me just so I could prove it to his mother that I actually we did catch a big fish.
That sucks that you didn't film it, because that would have been awesome to have.
Yeah,
it's all those pictures, the videos and pictures and stuff with the kids are just. I have so many cool ones of me and my kids fishing. So
yeah,
but
again, I have no problem going out and then scoping fish. It's not my preferred method. I have no problem doing it. It's fun as hell. If anybody tells you otherwise, they're lying to you. But I just enjoy a big rod with heavy line and a jig at the end of it, or a frog or something. But
just gonna point out, I got John talking about forward facing sonar.
I think our work here is done. Yeah.
Nice.
All right.
Hold on. If anybody's listening, Ken and I have to fish our knockout this Sunday, and we don't know where to fish, and we're trying to go to a place where we've never been. So I'm thinking we go out west somewhere. If you know a place out in Western Massachusetts that we should check out, let us know so we could fish somewhere not crappy, because we're just guessing at this point.
Yeah,
that's all.
Yeah. We'll get an update on that. Was it you doing this again next week? If we do it next week, get an update on that.
I think we could do that.
We do this every week, or every 2 weeks.
I like it. We'll see. Maybe you'll hear us next week. Maybe you won't. Maybe you'll hear us.
We'll talk about it in a couple weeks.
Figure it out.
We're going to do it more often than we have been. How's that? There's a commitment.
Yeah, this is a new thing. So this is we'll do it more often in the breakdown.
There we go.
What's that?
Yeah, what's that?
Something I heard it was
something I heard.
Old podcast back in the day.
Oh, like Joe Rogan?
Yeah, the original podcast.
The original, the first.
Original podcast.
With Tom Green?
Yeah. Oh my God, have you seen it? This is way off topic, but have you ever seen his YouTube videos?
Not as of recent.
It's just insane. It's like he's doing nothing. He's doing absolutely nothing. And also, though, he's like a really talented musician.
Yeah, he wrote the Bum Bum song. Everyone knows that.
No, but you look at his YouTube videos. It's like he'll be like, I don't know, I'm walking my donkey. It's got like tons of views. It's just dumb stuff. It's weirdly fascinating.
Sounds about right.
I mean, he's an entertaining guy.
If you know him from way back in the day, you know
his show was hilarious.
The show, Freddie Got Fingered. What else?
Yeah, I don't know.
True.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
I think that's a sign we've run out of things to talk about.
Everybody have a wonderful week. Go fishing. Let us know how you do, and we're looking forward to hopefully seeing you guys again.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody.
See ya.